hot garbage, nostalgia bait. I don't care what. So Marvel reboot is rebooting the Ultimate Universe. And I saw this a couple months ago. And I was like, I'm not going to comment on it. I'm a bitter old man. But you know what? Fuck Marvel. Sometimes I'm just silly. Maybe the bitter getting out will make you all bitter about it too. So back in like 2007, 2008, Marvel did One More Day, Brand New Day, where Joe the asshole Quesada decided that Peter Parker being married and mature, a successful businessman, a successful scientist and engineer, him and Mary Jane were in their 20s. She's a successful model and actress. She was starting. They were both advancing in their careers. Peter David and JMS had constructed a great marriage that they've been writing for a couple of years between the two of them. The new guy on Web of Spider-Man was also starting to write it well. I can't remember his name right now because he started Web of Spider-Man right when we all blew our gaskets over what they did. But no, Joe Quesada decided he was going to erase the marriage. Erase it. And JMS came up with a notion, let's do a little time travel. We'll go back in time, and we'll have something happen where Peter never gets to ask Mary Jane the question. They remain long-term partners, but they're not married, right? That's one way to get rid of the marriage if you want Peter to break up with Mary Jane or whatever. But couldn't do that. He couldn't. He had to not only erase the marriage, he had to reset Peter to being a 20-something loser living in Aunt May's basement. Okay? Despite having a PhD in physics and demonstrable engineering skill, marketable skills that Tony Stark himself recognized and was mentoring him in. Okay, Joe Quesada had him throw all of that away to make garbage tier, and they threw the fandom away too because Spider-Man at the time had Amazing Spider-Man, which was being published bi-monthly, like twice a month, or bi-weekly, twice every 2 weeks, whatever you want to call it. Okay. For the whole year, that's Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, English man, the Spectacular Spider-Man, which might have just been called Spectacular Spider-Man by that point. I believe so, about 2 years before they made the change. Monthly. So JMS writing this, Peter was writing Spectacular Spider-Man. The new guy was writing Web of Spider-Man. That was monthly. I think since Spectacular Spider-Man was bi-monthly during the summer. Okay, all right. There was a fourth kind of prestige series that was running. I don't remember the name of it. It might have been Sensational Spider-Man. I just don't remember the name offhand. Okay. There were multiple Spider-Man miniseries. There was a Venom offshoot, which Spider-Man fans had to be Venom fans, so buying the Venom's ongoing series and miniseries. Okay. There was also, and when Spider-Man crossed over, people bought that. There were successful Spider-Man movies that Sam Raimi came out with at the time. He was a hot character. And the total combined sales on Spider-Man comics at the time were something like between 400 and 800,000. I don't remember the exact number, to be honest, okay? And guess what? Literally, to get rid of the marriage, he didn't even have... so Aunt May got shot, and she was gonna die. She was in her 80s or whatever. And... rather than use his own scientific knowledge, which has saved people before for something like that wasn't an option. He could have injected her with his own blood, which saved her from terminal cancer a couple years earlier in continuity, right? That would have saved her. Didn't do that. Didn't go to his best bud Tony Stark, or he did, and Tony said, "No, we can't mess with it," or whatever. Who could have used multiple technological ways to save Aunt May. Nope, couldn't do that. Couldn't save her that way. He went to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange's like, "I can't help you, Peter. Sorry. I'm too cosmic for this, blah, blah, blah." All right? Couldn't do that. Didn't need to go ask, the cosmic space guardian Loki, who owed him a favor for saving Loki. There's a story there where Loki was at the time a semi-good, semi-bad character, right? So he wasn't pure evil like he sometimes depicted. He was more mischievous and counter the Thor and all that. And Loki could have sort of healed Aunt May. Didn't do that. Didn't even on it, and then they didn't even have Peter have the guts on his own as a character to make the deal with Mephisto, okay? who's basically the Marvel version of the devil, even though Satan is another character in Marvel, right? Okay, but they didn't have him, Peter, to make the deal to save Aunt May. No, they had Mary Jane make the deal, and Mary Jane basically this is a spiritual fridging. Okay, if you know what fridging a female character is, she sacrificed the marriage. Peter didn't even consent to it. And Mephisto took the love in their marriage and gained power over it. And Peter got reset into a swinging 20-something loser. Despite his PhD, despite his engineering knowledge, was living in Aunt May's basement. And he could go around and have fun day with these two new girls he was dating, and Mary Jane, he had broken up years ago in the new alternate continuity created in the Mephisto-verse. All sorts of cool stuff that you can have a 20-something do acting like a loser. Right? And guess what? Fans like me, we dropped everything. We dropped all of Marvel. Okay, and they've done studies that fans like me never came back. The combined total of Spider-Man sales from all that stuff I mentioned before was gangbusters for Marvel. I want to say it was closer to 800 than 400,000 issues. Okay, I don't remember the exact number. Right. I think the combined total after that was something like 120,000. They had to cancel everything except Amazing Spider-Man and Spectacular Spider-Man. Web lasted a couple more years. It got canceled because it dropped down to like the 10,000s, which may seem like a lot now. Well, that's anything Marvel does now, except maybe an X-Men title. But back then, that was a joke because Marvel was big business back then, okay? And since then, I have only purchased one Marvel comic, which is that Star Wars comic about the Darth Vader series they did a couple years ago that ran 25 issues. I signed up for Marvel's online service to read it for 2 months, read it, canceled it. Okay? It's the only thing, because someone said it was a really good series, and despite Disney Star Wars being horrible, it was kind of a good series. Okay? I still will not purchase Marvel comics because of that. But what is this garbage? Okay? So Marvel, now I've been a fan of Marvel. Has had multiple, like every couple of years they come with another. Ever since they made the new universe, which went for a couple of years, had some good sales, and faded off because of bad writing and oversaturation. They had too many titles. They had 3 or 4 titles that probably still have lasted 10 more years, right? And then they did another one again. They did the Ultimate Universe in the 2000s, and so they had another character I'll mention, Mayday Parker, in an ongoing she was Spider Girl basically in alternate universe. Again, Marvel has had good alternate universe comics where we set the continuity, keep it simple, keep a couple characters, and I've been a fan of that because I think that helps new characters come on, new readers come on. So they're doing it again. They're doing the Ultimate Universe. Could be a good marketing idea, even in this woke age. Okay, and Jonathan Hickman is a writer who could do a non-woke Spider-Man. Okay, I'm guessing Hickman says, if I'm going to do this, you are not. I'm doing it, and I don't care what you say. I'm doing it the way I want to do it. But here's the thing: this still is not Peter Parker and Mary Jane's marriage being fixed. In the main universe, it's still the Mephisto-verse. This is nostalgia bait, trying to sucker people who finally want to read their beloved Spider-Man again, to read the marriage or the fan of Spider-Man. They love Mary Jane as a character. They like the idea of a mature, responsible Spider-Man. In other words, Teenage Peter, and they had something good. They had Teenage Peter Parker in Ultimate Spider-Man, and they had mature adult Spider-Man in 616. Threw it all away. Okay, Teenage Peter Parker and then Teenage Miles Morales in Ultimate Spider-Man both were more mature characters than 616, 20-something Spider-Man. See how bad it was. How bad they wrote it. Okay, this is garbage. This is an attempt to draw people back in who haven't purchased Marvel for 20 years plus now, and it isn't proven. They've gone back and studied this. I think in 2012 and in 2015 or so, people like me never came back, never, and will to this day say we're boycotting Marvel because of one more day, brand new day. Now I will admit I like the MCU, because the movies were separate from the comics. Initially they weren't, but once Disney got involved, Marvel Enterprises and Marvel Studios became separate, and I lost my sense of guilt over seeing the early Marvel movies. Okay, but that being said, don't fall for it. This is garbage. As much as I want to like this, because they have Peter and Mary Jane married, it's a mature Peter who's in a career success, and Mayday Parker is back. I'm sure they'll make her Spider Girl at some point, because let's look through the article. So last year it was announced Hickman will return to Marvel, along with it came a reboot of the Ultimate Universe, a series that really saved Marvel back in the 2000s as Marvel Comics put their top-tier talent on the books, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, and the Ultimates, with its launch. And they were all great. Spearheaded by Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Millar, fans love these modern retelling origins and early sort of the beloved characters, which is true. It worked because creators were respectful. It made the characters great. Ultimate Spider-Man features a teenage Peter Parker in high school. Blah, blah, blah. Mary Jane, positive manner. Great, right? Over the years, however, Marvel made bad choices. J. Michael Straczynski and Joe Quesada concocted a disgusting story which to ruin Spider-Man forever, where Peter Parker made a deal with the devil to rid his marriage. But see, that's not what happened. This writer was a moron. First of all, JMS did because he was under contract, and he was opposed to it. And public came out and slammed the decision by Joe Quesada, okay? Secondly, Peter didn't make the deal. Mary Jane did. So, fans have been demanding the return of Peter and Mary Jane's relationship for years, however, no writer seems to want to deliver that Amazing Spider-Man. The recent said, well, it's run featured Mary Jane with a nerdy black guy and 2 children, while Peter Parker sulks like a cuck. Readers don't want that. Enter Jonathan Hickman. The first issue of his Ultimate Spider-Man relaunch features Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson married with 2 children, so fans always wanted. When the industry is mostly selling to the adult population, having Spider-Man, blah, 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 good, yeah. And people love the reviews. The art roll is good. I'm not debating any of that. Okay? But this is just Marvel attempting to suck your money in because this is an alternate character. Okay? And I just can't bring myself to get over it or move on because Peter Parker, 616, is the main Peter Parker. And Mary Jane sold the marriage. I don't blame Mary Jane. I blame Joe Quesada. Okay? They made Mary Jane. They fridged Mary Jane's spirit, okay? And they ruined Spider-Man. They ruined it. So they unruin it. Fuck Marvel. They will not get my money. My name is Matt. This is Unbearable 73. Share your comic outrages below. What do you hate? Because I hate One More Day, Brandon Day more than anything else in the history of comics. I'm Matt.